Monday, January 25th edition of the Carolina Weather Video. Meteorologist Matthew East here along with you. Let's get right into what's happening currently. I'll start off with a look at Beech Mountain, courtesy of ResortCams.com. Look at the mounds of snow there atop Beech Mountain. And hey, how about that 66-inch snowfall report from atop Mount Mitchell? That is absolutely staggering. What an amazing winter storm. There have been just amazing snow totals all up through the Mid-Atlantic region as well. I'm sure you've seen all the news stories about that. And we had, again, a pretty good round of wintry precip here in our area associated with that system late last week. Temperature atop Beech Mountain, though, only 35, so it's not too bad temperature-wise this morning. All right, there's our Greensboro tower camera this morning, temperature 29. And across the Piedmont zones this morning, you need to watch for a lot of slick spots on area roadways from some refreezing of some of the melting that occurred yesterday. Now, there are certainly some tricky locations on some area roads, especially the back roads, the secondary roads, and the roads that stayed shady. That's where you have some issues primarily this morning. Temperatures are in the 40s for highs yesterday, or were in the 40s for highs yesterday, I should say. Let's check the Triad area. It was mid-40s in most spots. Charlotte, a little bit milder, upper 40s, maybe some mid-40s there, as you can see there as you got up closer to the Triad area. But altogether, the gradual warming trend continued yesterday, and it will continue today as well. Hey, look at this photo. This is from Winston-Salem. Carolyn Honeycutt sent that in to us, and that is Zane and his Cam Newton snowman. How about that? That is great stuff. Hey, keep pounding. Super Bowl bound. Carolina Panthers. How about that? All right. Temperatures, 5 o'clock hour this morning. Chilly, sub-freezing in most spots. And so, again, you have those refreezing issues on some of our area roadways to contend with. Some high clouds out there right now, and I think we'll see some of those at times today. So I'll call it a mostly sunny sky. There will be some of those high clouds with us from time to time. Some snow arcing from Minnesota into the Dakotas and Nebraska. That is with an area of low pressure that will head up to the Great Lakes region, but the trailing cold front begins to bring in a very complex weather scenario for us during the midweek period. Now, we're well ahead of that storm system today, so no problems. Sun with high clouds. There's your high temperatures this afternoon. As you get on into tomorrow, the clouds will increase later in the day. And then by tomorrow night, we see the chance of some rain showers out there. Your highs even a step or two milder tomorrow than today as the warming trend continues. But then things get very complex. Now, first of all, this is the RPM modeling solution. An area of low pressure develops Wednesday well offshore, too far offshore to bring any precipitation up our way. However, I don't think that's the correct scenario. Let me show you the North American model, the NAM. What it's doing, Wednesday, some rain, even cold enough temperatures slipping into the areas of I-40 and north that it's a little bit of wintry precip. And then, as a more intense area of low pressure pops up offshore Wednesday night into Thursday, another round of precipitation that could very well on the northwestern stripe of that include some wintry precip. The European computer model has been on to this basic idea, and I think this is the correct one. I'll show you the detailed modeling in just a second. But there's your low pressure popping to the coast on the European. Enough of a low pressure to throw the precipitation back our way into the Carolinas. And it's very, very close to some wintry precip, just taking the European model at face value. And again, take this with a mound of salt. This is what that NAM model was showing now with its latest run. And again, you see that little strip of some snow that wants to develop on the northwestern flank of that low pressure area. So let me give you some of the more detailed modeling. And again, this is the weather scenario. This is how this unfolds. All right, so here is a little comparison for you. There is the GFS model. And again, you have two separate pieces of energy. It never really on the 0Z run got its act together. Compare that to the European model at the same time. And again, you have more of a phasing going on between those two branches. And so at the surface, you wound up with, well, let me go to this chart. This was the 0Z run of the GFS. Now, on the latest run, it's getting a better idea. The low pressure tucked a little bit more to the coast. It's still not all the way there, but it's getting closer to what I think will actually occur. And that is something like that. That's the European depiction of things. The Canadian model, there it is, Wednesday. And again, I think the Canadian is not quite as accurate with its depiction today as what it had at times over the weekend. I think, again, something like this for Thursday is more likely correct. Decent agreement with the UK Met. That's the UK Met model there with the low pressure sliding offshore as you get into Thursday. And let me show you the difference here in the European and its ensembles. Let me go back here to 84 hours. All right, so there is the operational run at 84 hours, kind of a broad low moving from the northeastern Gulf off the Carolina coast. And there's the ensemble mean. That's not terribly bad agreement there. There's the operational at 96 hours, low pressure just off the North Carolina coast. There's the ensemble mean. That's not bad. And so again, when you get the European and its ensembles in decent agreement, that is almost always a solution that's close enough to reality that you have to buy it. And again, if you just look at the upper levels, throw all the modeling out. This just doesn't look right on the GFS. I think something more along the lines of as that piece of energy dives down in the northern branch, you get some degree of phasing. And so it's something fun to watch. At this point, I'm not thinking it's a huge deal, but it is certainly something to watch. And we do head into a period of some milder temperatures starting this weekend and into portions of next week, but that's not the end of winter. I think the pattern gets more favorable down the road again, but maybe before the switch to a milder pattern, a little bit more in the way of fun and games for some of us later this week. That'll be something to keep an eye on. And before I wrap up the video, let me show you this here. Where'd it go? Well, there we go. All right. Let me go back to this very quickly here. The ski chart, the ski resorts rather, looking great. Just fantastic, fantastic ski conditions at any of the resorts across the region. All right, that is it for today's edition of the Carolina Weather Video. Everybody have a great day, and God bless.